2-minute drill. I will be reacting to footage. We're going to react to 2 Derrick Jaxn clips first.
Weak man could never know what to do with a woman with a strong mind. So at some point, he's going to sabotage the relationship until she leaves, or just discard her and run to a weaker woman. And I'm not saying he's physically or even financially weak. I'm saying he's emotionally and spiritually insufficient, but then tries to make his woman out to be the problem for being too much. So he'll say things like she lacks femininity, when the real problem is his fragility because he's allergic to accountability. Or he'll say that she's combative because she won't cooperate with his unfair demands that only serve his needs while neglecting hers. Or that she's emasculating him because she makes him face his own mediocrity. He'll even say that she's hard to get along with because she's hard to gaslight.
Now, I cut that short. You can read the comments. Basically, I put the comments on the screen so you could know there are still people falling for this even after he got exposed, cheating on his wife. Not his girlfriend, not his side piece, not a chick he was just No, he cheated on his wife and got exposed for it, did an apology. And even after that, they acted like everything was good. And I think something else happened after that. She was devastated. They may be divorced or he may just be separated. Whatever the case is, she not with him. And she went on a whole tour basically letting everybody know how much this man destroyed her. So this man is a fraud. Everything that he talks about as far as him talking about how bad men is, he's actually the bad man. So let's just get that out the way. Women have seen that, and women still fall for this to some extent. They still go to his page. They still love everything he says. And this is what it is. If you notice through that video, the theme was men are bad. It's men's fault. You are a victim. That's the theme through the whole thing. He's finding different angles to villainize this blank slate man that is in every woman's life. And women love to hear this because they love to be victims and they hate accountability. So everything that is wrong with whatever situation they have has to be somebody else's fault. So I highlighted this clip for 2 reasons. Number 1, to show that he is still on his BS. But number 2, women are still going to fall for the BS because number 3, it doesn't matter who the messenger is to them. It just matters that they like the message. I used to troll on social media and like pander, and everybody knew I was trolling. Everybody knew it. And the chicks would be mad at me because they would be like, ooh, it sounds so good, but I know you trolling. I know you not for real. I'll say something crazy and they'll be like, ooh, this the one, but I wouldn't share it because you said it and we know you not being real about this. You're not being genuine about the stuff you're saying. You trolling. And that solidified that understanding in me because I already knew that, but it showed me firsthand, even I could get away with this as far as trolling. But enough of that. We got another clip.
Karma gonna hit some of y'all hard for breaking women who had nothing but good intentions for you. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but God is going to spin the block for that girl that he sent to truly love you while you left her questioning if true love even existed. She was helping you heal from your trauma and you was helping create hers. While she was busy cooking your favorite meals, you were busy hopping in other girls' DMs. You hid a whole family, but you let her introduce you to hers thinking that one day y'all would create your own. And you think that you just gonna ride off into the sunset after ruining a girl who was down to ride for you? Now, I know we all make mistakes, but that don't change that you gonna still have to lay in that bed that you made. Like one day, you gonna be the one that's vulnerable with a woman. And instead of the one that used to be your safe space, this one gonna throw your darkest secrets back in your face. Or when you at your lowest and that new girl that you enticed with all that money ain't calling you back, you gonna think about the one that would've loaned you something, even if she knew that you couldn't pay her back.
Now, this clip shows the boldness, and we gonna go over why it's so bold, but we gonna go over some of the comments because some women are not falling for it. All the top comments aren't. It says, sir, are you talking about the man in the mirror? I'm starting to think this man is not real. This man is constant comedy. Just like it hit you, I guess that means you too. So most of those comments, if not all of those comments, are women, black women, the people that he panders to. And the comments are limited because those are the women that actually follow him. They're the ones that actually follow him. Now, if you didn't understand why it's bold, I already painted a picture of him getting exposed. In the last clip, you know, I pretty much went over him cheating on his wife. And as you can see on the screen, this is the legendary screenshot of him apologizing with his wife, holding his hand for cheating, for getting caught in the cheating scandal. Again, his wife went on a tour saying that, she was destroyed by this man. She was destroyed by this man, and everything that he said, men are, and how bad these men that you're dealing with are. He was that guy. He was that guy. So the chick who said, I'm starting to think you're not real or whatever, it's very funny because one or two things is going on. Either he completely lacks self-awareness, brand awareness, and things of that nature, and he just has a list of shit that he is going to do as far as videos, and he is just going down that list, and it's a recycled list that he always goes over or something like that. So he just lacks awareness, and he didn't think, I probably should skip this video. Or, this is what I think it is, he is deliberately trying to fuck around and be daring, and as women would say, play in his audience face. He is really trying to see how far he could take it, how much he could get away with it. And it's like a video game to him. Like he's really like Dr. Claw for Inspector Gadget, like laughing in an evil lab somewhere, like in a dark lab somewhere. Trying to see how far he can go and how much chicks will eat this shit up. And chicks didn't eat this shit up. The top comments is all like, you full of shit. So it is what it is. He's still doing his thing, and he's still fooling these chicks, and some of them ain't going for it when he goes too far out of bounds. But him making a post about karma for destroying a woman is just very ironic and funny.
Here comes Rager.
This how you making me bring in the new year? This how you making me bring in the new year?
Hey, man. I mean, listen, I've been in Atlanta all weekend. I got my birthday celebration. I went to a basketball game. We celebrated my birthday with you. Mom's good. Ohio State crushing loss. So I got to get it done. Just start the year off with.
Now, I get that this is lighthearted to some degree. I get that they could both laugh about it. I get that it's not a serious issue. I get that she's not about to break the PlayStation, but this reminds me of a Patrice O'Neal joke that he said multiple. He said this on Black Phillip. He said this on Opie and Anthony. He said this on stage multiple times, which is men want to be alone, but they don't want to be by themselves. And he says, we want you somewhere in a dwelling, just not in front of us. And that's why like things like man caves and shit are necessary, because you don't have to be here. Like, you don't have to be in the bed watching me play the game. Women always get upset at the dude spending time playing the game and shit like that. Why don't you get something else to do during this time instead of bothering me, enjoying myself? You want to know the nastiest part of this clip to me? It's that even though this guy is a billionaire and he stayed with this chick through high school, like met her in high school, been with her, had all these kids with her and stuff, like it took her all the way to the mountaintop. He still got to go through this regular nigga nagging shit. Again, it's tongue in cheek. It might even be passive aggressive. But you see, he still had to make a case for why he was playing the game. He laid out a list of events down to celebrating birthdays and stuff. And it's like, bruh, no matter how much you got, no matter who you are, no matter even if you get $1 billion, no matter if you were one of the greatest men on the planet, at some point, if you get married, you are just gonna be another guy to her.
I was talking to my friend today, and she was like, do you pray for a husband? Like, you always talk about wanting a husband. Do you pray for a husband? Because we're both Christian. And I was like, actually, no. I pray over every area of my life, but I don't pray over a husband. Is it because I just don't want one? Like, maybe I think I want one, but I don't actually want one. But then I'm like, no, I genuinely do want a husband. Like, and it's also really scary to get to the point where I am, which me and my friend also talked about, because it's like you get to a certain level of comfortability with your singleness that it's like almost like you'd rather choose just being single than to be coupled and have to compromise with another human being. Now, I know that I'm getting close to that point. Like I'm on the cusp. Like I'd either go like here or here. Here is finding my love and being with my love. And over here is just being single for the rest of my life and being completely okay with it. Because the only reason I really think about having a husband is because my kids are old. If you're new here, I'm 40. I'm actually 41 in a week. My kids are 20 and 18. One's already flown the nest. The other one will eventually fly the nest. And I'm just gonna be here. I don't even have a dog anymore. So I'll just be here by myself. I refuse to get cats, so I cannot be a single cat lady. So then what am I gonna do? Obviously I need a husband. And then my friend said, you know you actually need to date. I was like, fair, that's fair. In order to get a husband, I would probably need to date. First of all, I know I'm not staying in the city that I live in. So for me to date here would not really serve any good purpose for me, because let's say I fell in love and then I would have to stay here. That is the last thing that I want to do. So therefore, my dating is on pause until I get to where at least I see like the next, 5-10 years of my life. And that is not until next year. So then I'm back here in single land, and I think, oh, dating could be fun, but obviously I can't date because I can't fall in love here. So then it's like this vicious cycle. I know I need to. It's getting a little weird. Like, it's getting weird. And then I talked to my other friend, and she's like, you're just too picky. It's not that I'm too picky. It's that I have like standards. Doesn't everyone have standards? And no one has like actually checked the boxes, except for, you know who I'm going to talk about. But he like didn't check like the chemistry box. So then it's just, I just go round and round and round in circles.
So that was a lot. I'm going to make a couple points. Going to extend the time as well. Don't know how long this is going to be. So the first thing I'm going to say is this is why dudes opt to date younger chicks. Let's highlight something very important and very telling that she says. She says that, something along the lines of it sucks to get to the point that she is at. And that point is to where she is so comfortable being single. She is so comfortable being single and unmarried at 40 that she does not see herself compromising for another person as far as a man. It's hard to see herself doing that. It would be a strain on her to do that, basically. Guess who that wouldn't be a strain on? A 19-year-old or a 20-year-old. Just an average 19, 20-year-old. And I'm not telling dudes to go out here and get 19, 20-year-olds. If you heard me, I said on this channel, my age is like 24-ish. Like 23, 24-ish. It's got to be over 23. But this woman is 40 and single with grown kids. 2. Not 1, but 2 grown kids. They're 20. If she were to go out somewhere on a date or go to the club or something, it's possible her kids could be there. But let's go to the other point before I get to a major point, going back to that 20-year-old stuff. But you also have to look at the uncertainty and just the wishy-washiness and this guy, he checked a lot of the boxes, but the chemistry wasn't there. And there's another guy that I could fall in love with. If I fall in love in fucking Tucson, I don't plan on being in Tucson. It'll just lock me down in Tucson. So when you just look at the entirety of this clip, you already have the fact that she said, she really doesn't want to compromise for another person. That's something to where she's getting to a place where it's damn near completely shutting down. But the only reason she kind of wants to get married. Kind of. And she's also looking at the fact that she's going to be alone in a home. So it's not something that she absolutely, truly, really wants. I mean, she doesn't even pray for it. But really, it's not even a secondary thing. I don't know what comes after, secondary. It's just one of those auxiliary, like, off to the side. You know what? That's one of the boxes as a woman you should check in life. So I guess I'll do some things to kind of try and get a husband. Like, that's the energy that she is given. She is not thirsting for a husband. She really doesn't want a man. She wants a man because she feels like she needs a man for reasons like, I don't want to be home at the crib alone, and I just want to have that box checked that, I got a husband, because it's kind of something I want. It's not something that I absolutely need, but I only need that if I just don't want to be at the crib alone. That's the only reason I need it. Because other than that, I could get another dog, because I mentioned that I don't have a dog anymore. So the energy there is like, it's not even really a priority for real. You add on top of that, just the pickiness and just real uncertainty, like just all of that shit that you heard in there that I already just went over. You put all of that in the pot. You put all of that in the pot, and it makes dating hell for a man. It makes dating hell for a man. So you were dating a woman, and let's just pretend you were dating to get married. You were dating a woman who already has 2 kids, right? She already has 2 kids. She's really just dating because it's something to do. Like, she's not really invested in trying to, get you as a husband or anything like that. She is a star of the show, so it's going to be you trying to win her over, and she really doesn't give too much of a fuck about your existence. I can tell you just from this video, being that she just seems like she really doesn't even want to get married, like that much is just not that big of a deal. She's not going to bring you any value. She's not, women in general, we go over this all the time. Women in general really don't look to bring value to a man as far as the modern woman, the average woman today. It's written all over her face. The devil's in the details all through this video. You're not going to get value from this woman. And let's say you finally make it to the finish line. She finally lets you have sex after 50 days because she is a Christian now. Even though she got 2 grown kids, she's a Christian now. Some chicks get on Reddit, say they've been celibate for 10 years and stuff like that. She's a Christian now. So it's all good. You finally get you get the box after 51st dates, Drew Barrymore, Adam Sandler. You will realize at a certain point that the compromise is just not there. The submission is just not there. The cooperation is just not there. Possibly even the support is just not there. But even then, the attraction probably is not really there. Like, because she's uncertain. Like, this is a chick who a guy marked all the boxes. She thinks she could do better. Like, whoever she ends up getting with, especially because, like, let's be honest. Like, this is me being 1,000. She does not look bad for 40. She looks cool, in my opinion. But she's still 40. She's still 40. So, like, she's not going to get the options that she thinks she could get. Because whatever boxes that other guy checked, like, she doesn't, the spark isn't there. So you want everything, all the boxes marked, and you still want the attraction on top of that at 40. Good luck. Good luck. She's going to feel like whoever she gets with, she is settling to some extent, and she's going to feel like she could do better to some extent, and she's going to treat that man like it. Now, you'll see Game Guy Goldie. He'll talk about this. He talked about this in the reaction video I did to the dating, the 20v1 and stuff like that. He liked chicks that's in that 20 range. He liked chicks that's in their early 20s, possibly even 18, 19, because those are the women who are moldable. We got to have a moment of real honesty here right now. Men are supposed to lead, right? Women don't even want a man. They really don't want a man, most of them, that is not capable of leading them. When you get in a position like the woman on, the screen, she's got life figured out in her mind. She doesn't need a man. She kind of wants a man. The only thing she needs a man for is to not be lonely. That's it. That's it. But the issue with that, as far as thinking she got it all figured out and everything, she's still going to want the man to lead. And she's not going to think that he is capable of it because the bar is so fucking high. It's going to be so fucking high. When we talk about an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old, you just being 5 years older, in some cases 10 years older, that automatically makes you superior to her in her eyes. If you were even sniffing a career, or if you were getting a decent amount of money. I don't know nowadays, because you got chicks who 20 in these street interviews, like not 23, not 25, but like 21, 20, who's saying like, oh, you know, the wedding ring got to be, or the engagement ring got to be 300,000. So kids and young people have never had a concept of money, but I think when you hit 20 and stuff like that, you should be working, so you should have some concept of money, and you haven't made 300,000 in a year. I know you haven't. The chick who was on the screen, I guarantee I put my whole crib on it. She don't got no 300,000. But you know, as far as the youth in general, they typically are out of touch when it comes to money. And the reason I said I don't know now is because you got Instagram fucking a perception up. But at one point, because I'm not talking to no 20-year-olds, but there was a point where you just making a little bit of money, just a little bit. You superior. They look at you as superior. And then when we get to the fact that you got a car and any type of crib, you are the man. You are the fucking man to somebody in that age bracket. And if you got your shit together, more than likely, you can give them some game. You can give them some value. You can show them how to live life, because they haven't really lived an adult life yet. So you could teach them, like, check this out. I'm going to give you a perfect flip example. Bow Wow just said the Superhead is one of the greatest women, and she is just such a woman and all of this stuff. He said this on Cam Newton. And he said, man, she's just little stuff that she do, bruh. She taught me how to fold clothes. So anytime I go to fold clothes, I see a laundromat, not even go to the laundromat. I see a laundromat. I look at a laundry basket. I think of Corinne Steffens, Superhead, because she taught me how to fold clothes. When you think about that, your mom should have taught you how to fold clothes. But he's a superstar, and she was probably folding his clothes for him. And even then, who knows what's going on in a young superstar's life to where a hoe is teaching him how to fold clothes. But Bow Wow is a grown man. He is a grown ass man. He's like, people are saying he looks old now, right? So he's not the spring chicken anymore. He's in his late 30s, pretty much. And she has imprinted that guy. She has imprinted that man to where that game that she gave him back then still sticks with him. He didn't talk about, the double hand twister, no crazy shit. Like, he talked about her teaching him how to fold clothes. Some very basic, the most basic of basic game. Not only did he appreciate it, it stuck with him. And forever, he puts her on a pedestal and looks at her in a good light because of that. Just in a higher light. Now, if you take that same concept and we're talking about a woman, and you teach a woman the very basics about something like credit or credit card usage and stuff like that, younger women who don't know as much, they are in a place to where that information could be very beneficial to them. Guess what? What if you teach her how to actually boss her life up? Fuck folding clothes. You teach her how to boss her life up. And you could even take whatever else you want to take, whatever you want to replace with that. But you really teach her how to elevate her life, or just how she carry herself, or whatever the case may be, in a certain way that really impacts the rest of her life in a positive way that sticks with her. The first thing is, the bar is not going to be that high. So if you actually go above and beyond, it's really going to impact her in a great way. And depending on what it is, that can only add to the admiration that she already has for you. And depending on what it is, it can benefit both of y'all. And that's what leadership looks like. That's what it looks like. And that's where it's good at. And everything can be harmonious. You know, you could tell her to iron your shirt and she'll iron your fucking shirt. Now, when you get to a woman who is 40, who is a single mom, who raised two grown ass kids, lives by herself, then had a whole pet life, you know, go through the, like, you know, the dog was a puppy and the dog has died, you know, has her own crib, etc., etc., etc. All of this stuff. And she's 40. She's fucking 40. Two things that I'm going to ask you. Number one, what do you think you could teach her to where she would be enamored and have that imprint on her like a 20-year-old? Like a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, or something like that. And again, I'm not advocating for a day 19, 20-year-old. But I'm making a point. I'm making a point. I'm talking to the dudes because if I'm gonna get to the chicks in a moment, because this is how this shit go. I'm gonna tell you how this shit go when you have these types of conversations with a woman and why you can't be real with them or nothing like that. But back to her, the bar of what you would have to teach her to leave any type of imprint on her at 40, after having a whole pet life, after raising two grown ass kids, after having her own crib, after probably becoming Christian, like really getting into Christianity some point after having two kids, more than likely out of wedlock. She didn't mention anything about an ex-husband or anything like that, so it's safe to assume kids had out of wedlock. It's extremely normal now, extremely normal. But the bar is going to be very high. It's going to be very high. So that's the first thing. What could you even teach this woman that would step her life up and imprint her in a positive way? The bar is going to be very high. But the second question, and this is two things to this question, so you might as well say 2 and 3. Do you think she is likely to be receptive of you teaching her fucking anything? Anything. Anything. Do you think she'll be receptive of you teaching her how to play poker? Do you think she'll be receptive to you telling her how to drive a stick shift? Do you think she'll be receptive to you trying to tell her how to saute some shit? Do you think she'll be receptive to some finance information? Do you think that she is going to be receptive to you showing her how to fold clothes a different way? Do you think she's going to be receptive of new information? Do you think she's going to be receptive? And this is the last thing. Let's just say this. Let's just say you figure out where the bar is. You exceed the bar. Boom. You exceed the bar. And let's say she is receptive of the information. Do you think that she will be appreciative of the information? Listen, man. Do I got to go in detail about this? Like, there are examples all over the internet. All over. You have examples. I guarantee you, if you pause the video and think right now about something good or great that you have done for a woman, think about it. Did it go unappreciated or underappreciated? What did I talk to you about earlier in this same video? LeBron had to go down a list of recent events with his wife as a fucking billionaire. As a billionaire. Of why he should be able to play the game and why he got to play the game. These women do not appreciate shit. Most of them don't appreciate shit. It's just that simple. And this is the thing when it comes down to all of this. The older a woman gets, the more jaded she becomes. The more jaded she becomes, the harder she is to please and the harder she is to be with. That is it. That's this whole clip. And that goes to the point of me saying why, younger chicks are more, they're just better to be with. And let's talk about the flip side to everything that I just said when we bring younger chicks into the fold. See, this is the thing. This type of conversation you could have with men, right? You can have this conversation with men and everything is kosher, everything is good, everything is grand. Nobody insults anybody, everything goes smooth. Some people may disagree. Some people may agree emphatically, and everything goes smooth. When you have these conversations with women, what happens is they get offended by proxy. This is something that is hard to argue against with logic, especially because they don't have this experience. And the other thing that they are not going to do because of their ego and because, they're putting themselves in this situation, they're typically not able to argue generalities when they feel like, something applies to them. They always go to themselves. But what they're not going to do because of their ego is qualify themselves or the women in general and say things like, no, women over 40 are definitely moldable. What they are going to do is two things. They are going to shame. That's the first thing. You niggas is pedophiles. You niggas is predators. You don't get no bitches. Da-da-da-da-da. You can't get a bitch your age. All this shit. They gonna do all that because they absolutely hate this shit. They absolutely hate it. Because to accept it in any way means that you have to accept that you are not the most desirable. I'll give you a perfect example. A clip is going around, a coolie telling a chick who said that she is a 10, who no dude that is watching the clip is going to think that she's a 10. She's nowhere near 10. She said that not women, but men approach her all the time and tell her that she's cold, she's bad, da-da-da-da-da. Cooley said, yo, you lying. And the chick is masculine. She's the most masculine chick on the fucking panel, right? So, and she looks like a stud. That's what I'm saying. Like, she looks like, she's a tomboy type shit. He says that, and then what happens in the comments all over the place, multiple platforms, you got women getting upset that he basically said that she is not a 10. And and guess what? And this is how come, like, when it comes to this shit, I don't think you'll ever see me, like, let's just pretend I take this to the highest heights and I just go all over the place and I'm on CNN or whatever. I don't think I'll ever do a podcast, like, as far as like me hosting a podcast and having women on and stuff like that. Because these arguments and things like that, these debates are very pointless. They're very pointless to have because women communicate, in most cases, in the most immature ways when they get emotional and upset or they just don't agree with you. A lot of women are not capable of having a civil, logical debate or discussion where they are emotionally triggered. To any degree. So while that was going on, you go into the comments and what are chicks saying? They're saying he's ugly. He shouldn't be judging nobody because he's ugly. He look like he don't get no bitches. Don't no bitches want him, but this is the big one. He's down low. He wants to fuck men. He's gay. He's sassy and gay. Like, just all of that shit. It always goes down to that type of shit. It always goes to just the lower level. So that's the first thing that a lot of women do when we talk about these discussions. The second thing that they're going to do, and when it comes to this whole age shit, they are going to villainize the men outside of just calling them predators. They are going to say things like, oh, you're a manipulative man and you're controlling and you're insecure. They're going to do all those things to gaslight men and paint the situation as something predatory because they don't like it. Not because it actually is, it's because they don't like it and it's something that they have to face. It's something that they would have to face as far as them not being as desirable as they think they are, them not being the apex females and shit like that at 40, at 50, at 35. And the craziest part about this is these women will still be getting attention. These women will still be having dudes in their DM, etc., etc., etc. But even with all the attention that they get, all the validation that they get, they still have their insecurities triggered because they just know they aren't what they were. They aren't what they were. They lost a step. And what they have to do, they have to cut down the men going to the young chicks so that they can maintain their options. Because if it becomes a widespread thing and it becomes socially accepted, like just universally socially accepted with no backlash, nothing, for older dudes to date younger chicks, they're cooked. These older chicks know they're cooked. They know in their heart that they're cooked. They know it's over. And I'm gonna tell you how you know these chicks is full of shit. When you see something like a 50-year-old guy dating a 25-year-old chick, dude, like people will call the dude a predator. They'll say he's a pedophile. They'll say, what do they got in common? All types of shit, right? All types of shit. Drea Michelle is going with Jalen Green, I think his name is, in the NBA. He's like 20-something. She's in her 40s, I'm pretty sure. Much, much older. I think she even got a kid somewhere in his ballpark or something like that. I'm not sure. But that is one of those relations. And I'm going to tell you, that's an actual predatory relationship. You want to know why it's predatory? Because she is trying to get that young man's money. She is trying to get in position to have a child by him so she could get child support if things don't go wrong. She's with him because he has a lot of bread. And also, you know, if they get married, that's another way to take him up top. That's more insurance. The reason I'm saying that's predatory specifically is because she is a legendary industry hoe. Gilbert Arenas was hitting back when he was hot 20 years ago. 20 years ago, Gilbert Arenas was hitting this chick when he was playing for the Wizards. So she been fucking NBA players. She's been on record saying your wholeness could get deleted. She said that like close to 10 years ago. So she is definitely not to be trusted. And this is absolutely predatory, not just because she's older or anything like that, but she is actually trying to exploit this man to some degree as far as this young man. When we go to the next chick, we could talk about Brittany Renner with her NBA dude. And I'm pretty sure Brittany Renner is in her 30s or was in her 30s when she started messing with her NBA dude that she got a kid by. And this last one we gonna go over is Anthony Edwards dating this old ass chick. Old ass chick, little baby mom. Old as hell. He is 23 and she is 38. 23 and 38. 23 and 38. That is a big age gap. And when we have these conversations like the one I just had, that's really all it is as far as why they say that it's predatory and stuff like that. But when you talk about molding or giving game or how much a chick is going to be appreciating shit and they want to try and call that controlling and stuff like that. That is debatable. What's hard to debate is that a woman who already has a celebrity baby dad went and got an NBA baby dad knowing that he wasn't going to take care of the kid. He's a deadbeat. He's a bad person, blah, blah, blah. We get that. Nobody is going to say, yo, Ant-Man is right to abandon that child. Nobody anywhere has said that. You cannot find anybody saying that. I got a video on that shit. I do not say, yo, he did the right thing by abandoning that child. Bruh, the nigga's a deadbeat. It is what it is. We not even going in on him, but everybody, this is the thing. All the women feel the need to weigh in on him not raising the child. When it gets brought up that this chick is a sack chaser, that she is exploiting this young man for money, that she is a pro at this, she done locked down one baby dad. She is older, she is seasoned, she knows what she is doing. Even when you go and watch her talk, bruh, she talks like a succubus, bruh. She talks like a demon. She is not meant to be trusted. You could just tell from her demeanor that she knows what's going on. She knows what's going on. She is exploiting that man and even putting the child in a situation All for a check. All for a check. And this is how you know these women, a lot of these women who have the talking points who be like, oh, niggas is predators, niggas is controlling. This is how you know they are full of shit. We have this age gap here, and we have this woman that I already painted a picture. She's predatory, not from an age standpoint, but trying to exploit this man for his wealth by having a kid by him. When anybody brings that point up, when we having these discussions about these two, what do women do? They do one of two things. They either defend or deflect. They defend or deflect. They defend or deflect. They defend and say, "Oh shit, how she supposed to do? You know, well, it ain't her fault that they had a kid. You know, shit. Who wouldn't want to fuck Anthony Edwards?" They'll say all that type of shit. But then the deflection, if they just don't like it and they understand like that is some shit that you really can't defend as far as what she's doing, and she knows what she's doing, what they say, why ain't Anthony Edwards catching all this flack? Why ain't y'all talking about him? Why ain't y'all da-da-da-da-da? Motherfucker, everybody everywhere done caught, bro. Even male creators in the male space then got on this nigga talking about he a deadbeat dad. So don't try and act like motherfuckers didn't get on him and he's not a hot topic. You just trying to wiggle out of acknowledging that this chick is a fucking predator. And that's how you know chicks is full of shit, because when they faced with a situation like this, they can't even acknowledge that the woman is a predator. They cannot acknowledge that the woman is old and exploiting this nigga for a check by having his baby. And this is something that she has been through before. Women can't even acknowledge, yo, this chick moved from fucking Georgia to LA to try and run the child support up. She fucking moved from Georgia to LA because Georgia has a child support cap. When it comes to California, they don't have a child support cap. She could get the Puffy package, where Puffy was paying something like $12 million to Kim. You can go and look that shit up. You go and look. He was paying like $12 million a year, bro. Like, it was some nut shit as far as how much he was paying for child support, bro. Insane. Fucking insane. She wanted to exploit him. It is no way around it. She went to have the kid in Cali, and she not from Cali, don't live in Cali, was in Georgia when the baby was conceived. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So when we look at that situation, and women cannot even acknowledge, you haven't seen many women acknowledge that that woman is a predator based on her exploiting a young dude. And we could go further than that. We could just say, y'all always saying that dudes is predators strictly just for getting at younger chicks. And y'all say, what do they have in common and all that shit? Y'all ain't saying none of that shit when it comes to this. Y'all not saying what could a 23-year-old possibly have in common with a 29-year-old or a 39-year-old, 38-year-old when it comes to this chick, Aisha Howard. They're not saying that. So I've driven this point home enough. Women are full of shit, and you got to know the place that it's coming from. It's coming from a place of insecurity, and when they are emotionally triggered, that is when they lash out. That is when they lash out. You're a predator, you're a pedophile, even though the chick is 25. That's it for today, man.